Welcome to Behind Joseph's Coat, 50 years of Brampton Music Theatre, and I'm your host, Lenore Terry. Now, Brampton Music Theatre is celebrating 50 years in the community, and this year they're celebrating their production of Joseph and the Amazing Technicolor Dreamcoat. Now, that's going to be on at the Rose Theatre from April 11th to 13th, and you can go to www.rosetheatre.ca for more ticket information. I'm going to tell you that at the beginning, and I'm going to remind you at the end, because you're going to have so much fun in the middle with my interviews. I went behind the scenes to find out exactly what it takes to put on such a fantastic show. I had the privilege to meet with the narrator as well as Joseph, and my first guest that I have with me today is the music director, Joe Gomes. So thank you so much for coming, Joe.
Thank you very much, artistic director.
Artistic director, not music director, sorry, no. Artistic director. So, your coat. Are we going to talk about your coat?
Sure. This is a working coat.
A working coat.
This is just what we use in rehearsal. The real coat we'll get just about 2 weeks before the actual show goes up. So this is just strictly for rehearsal, for choreography purposes, and to get the 11 brothers accustomed to holding something, and for Joseph to wear something and make it look real in the meantime anyway.
Now that coat is a piece of work as well. Like, it's something that is really hush-hush, top secret, so I could even show it to my Rogers viewers if I wanted to.
No, I won't see it till 2 weeks before the show goes up either. Absolutely.
And I think it's heavy too, isn't it?
It is very heavy, it's very big, it's very colorful, and it's got every color of the rainbow and then some in it as well.
Yes,
too.
I think there's a whole bunch of song, a main song in it. There's a lot of colors involved in that.
Try remembering all of those colors, yes.
Well, there might be a test at the end, Joe, just to let you know.
Not for me. I don't have to say it.
So we're going to talk a little bit about your role. We're going to talk about you as a man leading up to this point. But let's talk about the whole audition process, about what people have to do, how they could possibly get involved in such an amazing opportunity as performing with Brampton Music Theatre.
Okay, well, Brampton Music Theatre usually puts out notices through their own website, which everybody jumps onto as soon as something comes up for the next show. Then they book an audition time with us, and basically you have 5 minutes to impress me, the musical director and the choreographer, with a piece of music, a song of your own choice, a cold reading or a prepared reading, and then we go into choreography, where the choreographer will teach you a certain number of steps and see how well you perform, how well you pick it up. And from that process, for this show, we had 95 people audition for this show. And we've got 52 adults and 21 kids in the show altogether.
Wow.
So out of those 95 people, we whittle it down to the ones we'd like to see in the show, the ones who have the talent we can use in the show to make it the best production ever.
Now, from what I understand, it takes a village to put on a show like this as well.
Absolutely.
And your cast becomes family. They become a community. They bond. Tears together. They bond. But what can someone expect when they go into that? Like, are they going to? When were the auditions and?
The auditions happened back early December, and then we cast the show within about 3 weeks' time, and we started rehearsal in January. Mm-hmm. It's a complete musical in the true sense of the word. There are no spoken words in the show. Wow. Everything is set to music. So for the first month and a half, it's been strictly learning the music, and now my job and the choreographer's job has started blocking it, putting in the choreography, rehearsing it, and then we'll marry the music to the blocking and the choreography and hope it all works.
So what kind of commitment would I, as an actor, go into something like that? Is it like a couple hours a week, or?
3 nights a week. Wow. We go Sunday afternoons from 1 to 5, and Monday and Wednesday nights from 7 till 10. And that's over a 3-month period. Wow. Plus the show run, which is a 1 week period as well too. So it's a lot of work.
And then the piece de resistance at the end is the Rose Theatre. Yes. Nothing to shake a stick at. Like, that's an amazing, beautiful theatre.
Absolutely.
So what are you bringing as artistic director to this production?
A different take on the show. It's been done a lot of times, and there are set things that happened in this show you can't deviate from, but there's always a different way of bringing your personality into the show, and that would happen in Act 2, and that's all I can say.
That's all you can say.
That's all I can say.
Well, the one
you have to come and see it to see why.
I had an opportunity to see Donny Osmond perform in this way back in the 90s, and the one thing that's unique about this musical, for people that have heard about it but weren't quite sure if they want to see it, it's not your classical stage show. It's not one type of music. It's a little bit of everything.
Everything thrown into the musical.
So tell the audience, what kind of music can we expect?
We've got a little bit of rap, we've got a little bit of jazz, we have a little bit of calypso, then you have your ballads as well too. There's rock and roll. There's something for everybody in this show. If you don't like one piece, and I can't see why you wouldn't, there's something else coming up that you definitely will enjoy.
Now, I kind of heard that there may be an Elvis impersonator that's in the cast.
Something about that happens in Act 2. Something about Pharaoh.
Oh.
Yeah, but Pharaoh is way back in BC, but Elvis skips into the show anyhow.
Well, there you go, and his motivation and his inspiration comes into the show as well.
And his hips as well, too.
And his hips. So
most decidedly the hips.
So let's talk about Joe the Man. You gave me your theatrical resume to look at, and it made my printer die because there were so many pages. And I'm just completely I'm just completely blown away at everything that you've been a part of here. And I keep seeing Brampton Music Theatre, Brampton Musical Society. Now 25 years ago, what did you have to do with Brampton Music Theatre?
I was president at the time, and we celebrated our 25th anniversary with a show entitled Brampton on Broadway. And it was a collection of excerpts from different shows we had done over the 25 years. I was a co-director with June Clare, and we had Act 1, the book was about that big, and Act 2 was just as big.
Wow.
And we put the whole show together. It was just a love-in for Brampton Musical Society at the time. It's now called Brampton Music Theatre. Yeah.
So
now I'm 50 years now and get to direct the 50th.
Yes.
And that was just kismet.
So we'll see you in the 75th as well. I'm quite sure. So, okay, so now I'm telling you can only be actor or director. What are we going to choose after this production?
Singer.
Singer. That absolutely works for me.
Singer/actor. Both sides of the coin are equally exciting. With this one, you get to create something and then sit back and watch it give birth, as you would. Yeah.
Now, I kind of did sneak behind the scenes to the rehearsal hall, and I met your cast, and I did that. And I know it's a big secret. I'm not going to say where the location is, but coming up right after this break, you're going to see behind the scenes and what it actually takes to put on such an amazing production. Be back right after
this. The following program is brought to you by...
Welcome back. So as promised, we're behind the scenes of Brampton Music Theatre's secret rehearsal hall. Now, usually cast and crew are only welcome here, except for today. We have it open for Rogers viewers.
Essentially, once the show goes into the theater, anything that happens is on my shoulders. All the lights, the sound, the cues, the set changes, it's all on me.
So you get to come to every single rehearsal. You get to know everybody's name. You write down what the props are needed for everything as well.
Exactly. What props are needed where and by who. Or who goes on stage left, who goes on stage right. Everything. And that's why I spend so much time at rehearsal just memorizing more than anything.
So is it also your responsibility to make sure the props are backstage? Because there's a huge cast. Is it the cast's responsibility to know that each of your props are yours?
We have a cast, we have a props team that's excellent. They're amazing people. They will make sure that everything is where it's supposed to be. It's my job to double check it and ensure that everything's there.
How well do you know the Rose Theatre? You must know all the secrets there too.
I've been there a few times. I've been doing this job for quite a few years, to say the least. Rose is an amazing place, but I'm still learning, no question.
I think a lot of our viewers don't know is that you actually volunteer your time. So what is so special about Brampton Music Theatre?
History. I've been involved with the group off and on for the last 30-some years. I love musical theatre. This is my hometown. Where else would I do it? I love it.
So maybe we can find a king costume for you and we can promenade.
Let's not say we did, okay? You can be my princess, okay?
Aw, thank you. And here we are with Robin. Now she has a very cool character in Joseph and the Amazing Technicolor Dreamcoat. You are Mrs. Potiphar.
Yes, that's right. It's a fun role. Lots of dancing and lots of sequins.
Now, there's something very unique about Mrs. Potiphar, though, so tell me a little bit about her.
Well, she's a little bit scandalous. She's the wife of a very rich Egyptian man who owns a lot of investments in pyramids, and she's not, I guess, very happy about being married. so she tends to have a lot of her own fun, we'll say.
Wow. Now, you're a teacher. So you have, like, there's going to be possibly students coming to see you as well, so they're going to see their teacher up on stage.
Yes, that's definitely a possibility. So, I'm not really sure what parents are going to say about that.
Tell me a little bit about the audition process and how you get from audition to show.
Oh, it's a pretty big process, actually. You gotta come in, audition for, I guess, whatever part you wanted to audition for. You have to sing 2 songs, 2 contrasting songs, a ballad and up-tempo, and then do a dance assessment, and then cold reading as well. Then from there, they kind of decide if they want you in the show or not, pretty much.
I watched you. You do a lot of dancing. So you must get really close with the cast.
Yeah, I mean, you come into this whole process not knowing anybody, so it's kind of scary, but at the same time exciting, because for the whole, I think, 3 months of rehearsals, you get to meet so many people. So I think it's great.
So here we are with Cassandra. You are Cleopatra in the show. Yeah. So how did you get involved in this amazement?
Oh, geez. Well, if we can count a couple decades ago, actually, my father was first involved way back in probably early 1990s, where he got me involved in my first musical. It was Evita, being in the kids' chorus with my brother. Ever since then, I've seen my father performing lead roles in Damn Yankees, in Guys and Dolls, which we did the last show that we had at Rose Theatre. I was in that as well. It was a great treat because I got to do something my father did so many years ago. So now, many years later, I'm still involved backstage, on stage, behind the scenes. Anything that this group needs, anything I can provide, I'm more than happy to.
So what is your favorite part of being involved? You mentioned behind the scenes and everything, but if I said, Cassandra, you can only do one thing now, what would it be?
On stage. On stage. I feel most at home on stage. I enjoy just making an actual fool of myself, but within the confines of my imagination, so to speak. It's great to work with other people who are just as creatively minded and who just do it for the love of art, and that's why I love to do it.
Construction shop. Guess what's behind the scenes here? Prop stuff. Hey, Chris. I had to come and see how the props are working. Good, how are you?
Good, not too bad. Yeah, well, this is where all the magic happens here. You're looking at some of the set pieces that will be in our production.
Now, this must be very expensive. And, you know, how do you get these things? How do you get the money to pay for these things to bring into each of the shows?
Well, actually, luckily for us, we work quite well with the other community groups. So if you're watching out there, you'll appreciate that probably everyone in your community is helping out with this. So other community groups will beg, steal, and borrow from them, and vice versa. So as you see right here, some of these props here are our Sphinx at the back actually is a loan to us. So very much appreciated. Well, you have the sign on this.
Now, your official title for this is producer. So what exactly does a producer do in a show?
Well, actually, co-producer, I have to put that in there. Yeah, one person I have to just mention is Sharon Vanderish, who's been very helpful to me and allowed me to come on board to help out. You know, we love theater. I can't sing, I can't dance. Maybe I can act a little bit, but so, you know, a great way of being around theater and giving back is to help out behind the scenes. So that's what I just asked. I said, there's something I can do behind the scenes and helping out. So, you know, you have people such as myself working on dealing with the contract for the rows and dealing with organizing all, you know, the props and the sets and everything else. So all the stuff that doesn't happen on the stage is myself and others will be a part of that.
So for the 75 or people that are on stage, there's probably 75 or so people behind the scenes making everything work as well.
Yeah, well, actually, you know, it's not just the people that are here too. You know, you think about the sacrifices that families have to make. You know, we have families that are here, but you know, certainly their moms and dads are at home looking after the brothers and sisters, and so you know, we should say thank you to them for that. Because without that, you know, we don't have people in the production or whatever. So it really is a family effort. It's you know, it's everyone pulling on the rope in the same way, and so that's what we have here. And it all comes together at the end. No matter how stressful we get around here, it's a lot of fun. But yeah, it comes together nicely at the end.
welcome back to Behind Joseph's Coat, 50 Years of Brampton Music Theatre, and I'm your host, Lenore Terry. Now, I'm pleased to welcome today the narrator and Joseph, and this is Lumana Daniel and Roger Fang, so thank you so much for coming, guys.
Thanks for having us.
No problem. So how exciting is this production for both of you?
Pretty exciting. I've done the show before. I played a wife. Every now and then I catch myself singing the wives' lines, but, you know, it's a lot of fun.
Now, the narrator, that's big shoes to step in because you're actually leading the story to the audience. You're the storyteller.
Yes.
Yes. So what are you bringing to the narrator?
Well, the narrator does spend a lot of the show telling the story to the children, and I work with kids, so hopefully that's making me more of an effective storyteller, but we'll see.
Definitely. And you know the music, as you said, because you were in the production before as well.
Right, exactly.
Fantastic. Okay, Roger.
Yes.
I hear you have a fantastic costume, and I'm not talking about the Technicolor Dreamcoat. We'll get into that. But for the majority of the show, tell me a little bit about your costume that you're wearing.
I believe I will be half naked. Yes. So I'm working out right now.
You're working out right now, which is great. So what are you going to bring to Joseph? Like this, originally I think a lot of people knew about this production because of Donny Osmond. When it came to Toronto, it was a huge, big deal.
Yes.
Did you get a chance to see it when he was here? You didn't?
Actually, I've never seen Joseph before.
You've never seen it?
Not even a movie, theater, nothing.
Wow.
So I'm coming into this with a very clear mind, you know, just go with the flow and go with what the director told me to do, and I'll go do it and try to do the best way that I can do, because the cast is so big, 70 people.
Wow.
So
okay.
it's hard to manage for the director, but also at the same time, I'm also most of the time at the center of the attention, well, beside the narrator. So I have to sort of put together the pieces together and lead the show, lead the story to the next scenes. So
now you've had a lot of experience in music theater. You were in Rent, which is part of Brampton Music Theatre. That she is too. You did Suds the musical. You did Anne of Green Gables and Joseph, of course.
Yes.
So, what drew you to Joseph? First of all, how did you find out about the audition?
Well, I was on the Brampton Music Theatre Facebook, so they put it on there, the audition notice, and I almost didn't make it. I remember because I was coming back from out of town that particular night. I think it's the last night of auditions.
Wow.
So I just make it. So that's how I heard of it. But I mean, going into this audition, I don't know the story, to tell you the truth.
Wow.
And so I just quickly prepare 2 songs and go into the audition and see what's going on.
So that's amazing, because a lot of people sometimes do their research before they go into a specific musical, and they'll go in, whether it's The Phantom or something, and they go in and they try to do a key. So that's very unique, and it obviously worked out for you too.
Well, I mean, I don't have the time to do the research because I knew about the audition very last minute.
Right.
And I could have gone on the internet and find out more, but what the heck. I'll just go into the audition and see what's going on.
Right, and now that's the same with you, because you've done productions with Brampton Music Theatre before, and you've done Once Upon a Mattress. You played Marty in Grease, and you played Joanne in Rent.
Yes.
Yes. So you must. What's so fantastic about Brampton Music Theatre?
What I like a lot about Brampton Music Theatre is the people, doing the shows with the same people. Sometimes the new people, but you know, everyone's just so supportive, and it's such a great community, and that's what makes it so much fun. I love coming back to BMT.
And was it the same for you? How did you find out about the audition?
Word of mouth. Yeah, like I said, I've wanted to play this role since I was 13, and I saw a Donny Osmond movie, borrowed it from the library, kept it for 6 months. That must have cost a lot of money. Yeah, so yeah.
Wow. Any other dream role? Anything else that you kind of see that you say, I need to be that person?
You know what? I think this is it.
This is it? This is awesome.
Yeah, no, very, very exciting. Like I said, wanted to do it since I was 13, and that was a while ago.
But you're also going to be music directing Little Mermaid Jr. For Brampton Youth Troupe. So you're kind of putting on a couple hats here. Like you're doing acting with Joseph.
Right.
And then you're moving over. So what if you only had to pick one? What could you only pick one thing to do?
No.
No.
Could not. Completely different. Not the same at all. No.
Wow. And what about you, Roger? You're a vocal coach as well, so you actually teach the kids and everything.
Yes.
And what if you could only pick one thing?
Acting.
Acting, really?
Yes, for sure.
Wow.
For sure. I mean, that's still the passion, and I wouldn't give it up for anything. Yeah.
So what's your dream role? Is there anything out there that...
Any role in Les Mis.
Any role in Les Mis?
Yes, that's right.
Well, I did hear it's coming to Toronto.
Yes. Actually, I bought tickets to see it New York in May.
Wow.
I didn't. That's before I know that they're going to come into Toronto.
Well, that's okay because you can see it when it comes to
Yes,
Toronto too.
That's right.
So the Rose Theatre too. Like there's just something about that theatre. They get professional groups that come in to do that. So how does it feel kind of go from a smaller stage to the Rose? I'll ask you that first a minute.
A little scary. Because it looks so professional. Yeah, no, but it makes it so much more exciting, and I think that it definitely draws more people to want to come because it's just so beautiful, right?
Wow. And you've performed there too because when you did Rent,
Yes.
you were there?
Yes, I did.
Wow. And they're also going to be doing a gala on the last night, which is April 13th.
Yes.
So that's going to be pretty exciting
I know.
too. A little bit of pressure there too?
No pressure, not for me. You?
You're crazy.
No.
Theatre.ca for ticket information.